Ahead of everybody, meanwhile, is Chris Horner taking the red jersey for the third time in the race and hoping that his stint in it is longer than the previous two, each of which lasted a day.
Mentally, I'm in a great place. The legs are fantastic. The body feels good. Today was a game of tactics. I was never on my limit on the last climb. I was just playing some tactical games because I didn't want to sprint for the time bonuses because, of course, I know Nibali and Valverde will both beat me in the sprint every time. So it's better for me to let the other guys go. If you let Joaquin Rodriguez go, then of course Nibali has to chase, Valverde has to chase because he's the next on general classification. So it was just a game of tactics, but always on the last climb I was in a good place physically. Mentally I was in a fabulous place. Physically I was very well. I felt good enough to do what I needed to do to protect my place in the general classification. I wasn't thinking red. Red just came on its own.
Wasn't thinking about red, apparently. I should imagine Chris Horner was thinking about nothing else ever since yesterday's stage and the gap coming down to 3 seconds.
Well, 3 seconds, it was always going to be in the back of his mind, and red, when you go that deep on the climb, and you're going to end up in red at some point, aren't you? And I just think it's interesting to see the way that Nibali is losing 3 seconds. So we're effectively, just switching the two riders around. And did he do that on purpose? Did Chris Horner take the seconds? I think there's an awful lot of things to play left on that.
Do you honestly think Nibali might have been bluffing?
You never know. You never know. This is the Vuelta, and like I said, it's one of the most unpredictable races of the year, and it could potentially put Nibali in a place where he's got some fresher teammates around him coming into the final climb. Although if we go back and look at yesterday's final climb, Chris Horner was certainly the strongest, and Nibali did lose time properly. So I think we got an interesting stage tomorrow.
How do you see it playing out then? Because if he's not bluffing, I could see a situation where Rodriguez gets up onto the podium, not at Valverde's expense, but possibly at Nibali's, who slips behind both of them.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. Once your legs go on a climb like the Angliru, because it's so steep, you end up losing, copious amounts of time, and that is certainly something that could happen tomorrow, not only to Nibali but to all other riders. Certainly, if it's wet as well, I think it's going to be a little bit of a tricky one for Chris Horner to ride up. Because he stands up and rides so much, and once you stand up on a steep enough climb, you lose traction with your back wheel, and it makes it very difficult. So if you're looking at the classics, when riders are going up wet cobblestone climbs, then they tend to sit down just to get the traction. So this could play in the favour of Nibali, that Horner can't climb the way he normally climbs, and so on and so on. So I think we're in for a right treat tomorrow.
Does Horner, though, just have to worry about Nibali? Given the legs they've shown so far, could either Valverde or Rodriguez vault all the way over both Nibali and Horner?
I think it's too much time from Rodriguez to get up and move Chris Horner out of the way. But Valverde, I would be a little bit sort of nervous about as such. Just don't leave him too far out there, and just make sure that you cover everything that he does. But at the end of the day, I reckon it's going to come down to Nibali and